Hello. Today I'm going to talk about how the one-loss, fifth-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide football team will end up making the college football playoffs, even though they are not the SEC champions and have a loss. First of all, let's go back to why they're not in the SEC championship, which is the only reason. Alabama was ranked first for about the first 5 games of the season, and then the college football rankers decided to put Georgia ranked first for whatever reason, and then that took away Alabama. So then Georgia lost a few weeks later to Auburn, a very good football team, and then Auburn ended up going on to beat Alabama in the Iron Bowl, Alabama's last game of the year, to knock them out of the race for the SEC. So that knocked them out. So let me show you what's going to happen. Since they're not playing in the SEC championship, some people think that they should not be in the playoffs. But I would argue that there is a couple of scenarios that could happen. So right here are the top 10 teams of the college football, or the college football playoffs. Only the top 4 will go, so right now it's Clemson, Auburn, Oklahoma, and Wisconsin. Now what's going to happen is a couple things. This is what the X factors are: is Alabama, Georgia, Miami, Ohio State, and the bottom 2 don't matter. But what's going to happen is the SEC championship isn't going to affect anything because Auburn and Georgia are playing each other, and Auburn's ranked 2nd, and Georgia's ranked 6th, and Georgia only has 1 loss, and Auburn's only has 2, but they're ranked 2nd because they beat number 1 Alabama. No, the winner of this game is going to go to the playoffs, so it has nothing to do with Alabama's success right here. That's out of the equation. And the ACC championship is also out of the equation because Clemson and Miami are going to play, and 1-loss Miami has a good of a chance is getting in as 1-loss Clemson, even though they're ranked 1st and 7th, due to they only have 1 loss. And that other team's going to get into the playoffs. No, these other 2, this is where it really gets interesting. It's the Big 12 championship and the Big 10 championship. These 2 teams, or 2 games, decide Alabama's fate getting into the playoffs. Now, why this one's so crucial is number 3rd ranked Oklahoma has been beating everybody. They're 11-1, while 11th ranked TCU is 10-2, and they don't have anywhere as good a schedule as Auburn, and they're not going to be ranked. So why this is huge is because 5th ranked Alabama, if 3rd ranked Oklahoma gets it on, and they have 3rd ranked Wisconsin, they're going to move Alabama into the top 4, which will put them into the college football playoffs. And that's only one thing that could happen. Now, on the other side, you have the Big 10 championship. An undefeated Wisconsin team going into the Big 10 championship against a 10-2 Ohio State Buckeyes team. Now, what's going to happen here is 2 different scenarios. If Wisconsin wins, they're in the playoffs. There's no questions about it, no ifs, ands, or buts. But if Ohio State wins, that's going to make it even more interesting because what that's going to do is going to put Ohio State up somewhere in here, not in the top 4. That's just going to knock Wisconsin out of the top 4 and move Alabama somewhere in the top 4. Well, that's how I mean that Alabama still has a really good chance of making the playoffs because due to the strength of schedule of Wisconsin and Ohio State, I think Ohio State has a real chance of beating them. And where TCU played Oklahoma before, they know their game plan, they know how they like to play, and they got plenty of film to study by. Well, this is what I mean by Alabama will make it into the playoffs. Now, I don't know if they'll win the national championship this year, but I believe that they have about an 80% chance of making it to the playoffs after these scenarios.